record onto this computer. All righty, now we're going. All righty. As we're on this main home page, we're going to walk through about 3 processes this morning. I'm going to walk through some things that I've seen over the years that I like on the website, and some things that can be a little confusing, and some things that are really going to help you. So as we start with this first, we will, as you log in, you'll come up to this home page. We're going to live today inside of the Parts Online, and we push the go button. And as you come up, you're going to see this page here is going to automatically default to the browser tab. The browser tab can be a little bit challenging. Today we're going to look at a specific crane for a 38 ton, and I'm going to show you how it can be challenging. And when I click on the 3802, this crane is going to pop up with a bunch of different boom lengths. As I see, this first one is a 77-foot boom. This one's 100-foot boom, 124-foot. And you can click the arrow on the right, and it'll expand. The problem with this is if you're not familiar with the crane and you don't have it in your yard, then you could possibly pick the wrong feature option for that crane. Yeah, I can do that. So the browser tab that you're on is actually a parts book, but not knowing exactly which crane you're working on or which feature option, that can be a challenge. The benefit with this is if you're not familiar with that crane, you can actually go through and kind of just browse. And that's what it's designed for, is browsing a parts book. When you pick up a parts book and you don't know exactly how that crane was built, then you're browsing, you're looking through it. So it's a neat thing to go and just click on whichever drawing it is that you want. Let's go back to this easier one. As I hover over what I think this is a rotation bearing. As I click on that item, it'll show it at the bottom that we have 38 of these rotation bearings on hand. The quantity is the quantity used on this crane for this particular installation. So for this rotation bearing, it takes 1 of these per the crane, 36 bolts to install the rotation bearing, 36 washers, and 36 nuts. It gives you your list price, and you can actually select them by just clicking the button called buy. It doesn't change the quantity here. It's just telling you. And over on your left-hand side, there is a screen that gives you your cart. At any time you want to remove it, you can simply hit the trash can button. It takes it out. That's one way the cart is stored on the left-hand side, but there's also another place at the top that you guys are going to be familiar with. So what I want to say about the browser tab before we kind of quickly move off of it is that you have to be careful with using the browser tab, that you have to understand that it's not specific for your crane. Yeah, you do. It's a browsing through a parts book that could have many different feature options. You could have the feature option is the 3802.01D as in David. And then there are other ones, depending on how that sales guy built that crane and what feature option he wanted it. Let's imagine we're building a truck and we've got a 1500 HD. Now I decided I wanted to have bigger wheels or different tires, or wanted to have a towing package or heavy duty brakes. So that's how you build that truck. And now that's also how you can build this crane. So inside of the browser tab, you will see the options that are available for that crane, but not necessarily the options that were selected for that crane. So for the browser tab, I want to ask you that use this with precaution, because you could seriously pick the wrong thing, order the wrong boom section for a 124-foot boom, and you actually have a 100-foot boom. Alrighty, so the browser tab is neat. It's interactive, but it's not specific for your crane. So just know that if you don't have a crane serial number, here's where you want to go to kind of browse through a parts book. Today, we want to live more inside of the serial number bill of material. That's not the right serial number. Let me find the one that we were going to use this morning. Somebody asked me for a vintage of a crane, and well, we'll do that right here. If somebody asks you how this crane was built and what it was, you type in the serial number and you select the word go. It's going to tell us the serial number. It's going to tell us what model this is. For this specific one, this is a 22-101S, 22 ton, 101 foot main boom. S is a rear mounted crane with a seat. The KD is actually a knockdown, which means for us, that is a crane that we put inside of a box of parts and a subframe and a boom assembled, but the dealership is actually the one who actually is installing it on the truck chassis. With those options, there are some things that you have to remind is that we don't know what truck is going on. So we don't know what throttle to put in it. We don't know the PTO that's designed for that transmission. There are certain things that makes it a little bit more challenging to go through. But today we're going to go back to serial number 146128. This lines back up with what we were just looking at on the browser tab. The browser tab told us that this was a 3802. Those first 4 digits of the bill of material on that first line, 3802. For Manitex, that's a model designation. The 38 is a 38 ton. The 02 is a rear mounted crane, also known as a S unit or a SHL. Not to be confused with our new crane. And this is where I'm trying to be a little bit more easier on this product line is the TCs those are the newest and greatest, kind of the creme de la creme of the cranes. But anyways, I type in the serial number. It tells me the model is a 38124S, 38 ton, 124 foot, S mounted, so rear mounted. The crane was ordered on January 07. It was registered, and then it was shipped on December the 5th. The distributor that bought that crane tells us who it is. So if you ever have a crane that you're kind of weird about it, and you can actually call the Grand Prairie location and say, you have to look it on the internet, but you'll be able to find it if they have any questions about it. All righty, so we're going to go down through here to use this bill of material page. The bill of material will appear on the bottom left-hand quadrant, and these, you'll select the plus sign on the left-hand side to open up that first section. And you can open up to the same section we were at earlier, to the rotation bearing installation. The rotation bearing is here, the hardware is here, but I don't understand, Mr. Jamie, where you find the print. To get the print, we'll only have prints predominantly for installations. Some assemblies, hardware, we won't have prints. It's kind of a tough one there, but let's select the swing bearing installation. I can click on the word. Our print will show up on the right-hand side. You can select the print. It's going to ask you to open it or download it. For this case, we're just going to open it up. I'm going to Now we can send this print to the customer to make sure that they're picking out the right parts. This lower part, well, let me stop. The top left-hand corner is the top view. The bottom left-hand part is the side view. So we are looking at the rotation bearing. Item number 4 is the rotation bearing. The hardware to install the rotation bearing is 1, 2, and 3. So put the bill of material. Here are the items in 1, 2, and 3 in the rotation bearing. I like to send prints, and as many of you may have seen over the years, I'll send you a print and I'll also send you a screenshot of where I got it from. It's not trying to be funny, lazy. I just want to make sure that you and I are on the same page when we are looking at parts and spending money for somebody, that we're picking out the right parts. I really think it's invaluable to try to hide that information. So I want to be as valuable as I can and give you as much information to give to the customer. So in this scenario, I would actually highlight this area, and then I would paste it into a email and say, here's where I got the print from. Let's see if we're on the right page. Going down through here, if I look at some of these, I will not see, like I'm clicking on the rotation bearing, I will not see a print for it. It'll just throw up a picture of a crane, and it's not going to show you a picture of the rotation bearing. It's only going to show you a picture of the swing bearing installation. So if I'm replacing a swing bearing, I'm asking to the rotation bearing and the items to install it. That's only the bolts going down. For the bolts coming up, I'm looking at, now I'm installing a turret and I'm installing the hardware to install the turret. So as I open the print, it's now I'm looking at, you zoom in here really close. You see the turret is item number 4. The hardware is items number 1, 2, and 3. So a rotation bearing is to install a rotation bearing. The turret is to install the turret to the rotation bearing. So you're going to have the same hardware most of the time on the turrets for the bolts going up as the ones going down. But then again, what we say is the best thing is to always try to find the print. And to find the print, you can click on the word or the part number. And if the print is available, then it'll be up on your right-hand side. Something kind of neat to know is if I'm looking at a part number and I click on a part, it will price it on the right-hand side. Here is a quantity that's used inside of this turret installation. It's not the quantity that's used in this crane, but it's the quantity used on this installation. Swing drive, we're going to find these things, and we're going to get off of this pretty soon, but let's stay on it. I can minimize these other sections so not to confuse you. We're now on the swing drive installation. If I click on the swing drive installation, the print's on the right-hand side. If I want a print of a swing gearbox, I can click on swing gearbox, and the print, if it's available, will be there. For this specific gearbox, it was made by several different people. It was made originally by Gear Products, and then it went to, as you know, Gear Products was bought out by Tulsa, and then it later went to Auburn. So looking at that, we have to know that, you know, I try to put as much information on these prints as you can, so that when you're giving it to the customer, we're looking at the print with as much information as we can. So as we go down, it'll have different drawings, and it'll tell us that this is the swing brake and it's used for both units. Here's the motor that was used from version 1 and the effectivity dates. So there's a lot of information on this one print, 11 pages. But anyways, if I'm going too fast, you guys just unmute yourself and let me know that I'm going too fast, and we'll go back and go over some other things that you may see, but if not, we'll keep going. So as we go through this bill of material page, this is as your crane was built. There, could it have changed over the years? Sure. You know, we've got some friends that will change a 124-foot boom because it was too long for the customer. They didn't want it, and they put a 100-foot boom on there. But it's not something that we record. This is as the crane left. It's frozen bill of material. So that helps us out. Some other neat things about this specific portion, something that we miss over is the keyword. You can start by putting almost anything in there. I routinely look for the word filter. So I can put in the word filter, push search. It's going to come up with the filters that are for this crane, that are inside this crane. The neat thing is the first description. If you know the product and you're saying, yes, is this the same filter I use? Then you could say yes or no. The neat thing about it is here's the part numbers in that part number section. Let's see if I can highlight that. All righty. The more important is the product location. This tells me that this high pressure filter is located in section 3802. So I'm going to come over to 3802.04C. The next, it says it's inside of the platform installation, the 6,750.013. So we hit that plus sign. Now it's inside of 6,750.013, which is highlighted here. Once I have that, I can open up the print. This bill of material for that print shows me that there is a, I don't think it's going to let me, yes, it will. There's a high pressure filter that's used inside of that. It'd be nice if it had a pictorial drawing, but for this one, it just doesn't. Not a real good excuse, but it is what it is. Let's go and let's put valve. If I'm looking for a valve, I can push valve, push search. If I'm looking for a, let's say let's look for the, this is the main control valve. It's used inside of the 38028B. So I'm going to go down to 38028B. Now it's inside of the control valve installation, 6,749.016. So now I've hit that plus sign. Let's see, where did I go? And now here's your control valve. If we click on this, now we can open up the control valve print. We could send that to the customer and say, yes, this is what we want, or no, that's not even close. On those scenarios that if we kind of give him an idea and he comes back and says, no, that's not close, then ask him to give you a picture of it. Send it to me and we'll get you a, help figure out what it is. So as you use the bill of material page, the search is a pretty neat item here. After I have this control valve picked out, it tells me that I have 66 on hand. The list price is said, if I wanted to add it to my cart, and knowing that this quantity 1, I can add 1 to my cart and I could push place in cart. The screen stays here because it doesn't want to make you move from this to a different page, but at any time we can go up to our cart and figure out what's in our cart. But let's go for just randomly speaking. I'm replacing a rotation bearing. I've got 1, so I'm going to place 1 in my cart. I'm going to go here. There are 36 bolts. I'm going to push 36. As you see, there's no on the hand, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Push place in cart. I want 36 washers, place in cart, 36 nuts, place in cart. I'm going to go down here to my turret. There's 36 of these, place in the cart, 36, place in cart, and 36. And I'm looking 36 because there are 36 used in that application. Now place in cart. Now, as we're going down through, I've kind of done all my research, customer's good. Now we can go to our cart. This is the point where your customer helps you look at the website until you're done. This is the last screen you want to show them, because this is a screen that's showing them their net cost. If you're selling it at list price, and that's your conversation, not mine. If you sell it list plus 10, don't show them this page. But if you show them at list price, this is where you can take your screenshot, save it to your file, send it to them. But if you go to the next screen, that's where it's got your discounts. You pretty much don't want to show them what you're paying for it, but it's kind of neat. Some of you may or may not see that our web store allows you a discount code that you can go to our web store and get free stuff. We're working on a little bit product improvement on it. We want to be able to let you kind of stockpile your discount codes and use them and ship it to wherever you want to. These are not enticements to help. They are appreciations. We're not trying to upsell you. We're just trying to show you that you're at $9,900. Your next goal is at $10,000. So if I was to come up here and add another one, and I'm going to save my changes, my next goal is at 15,000, and it'd be a $75 discount code. So if you get to a $20,000 order, which is daily, you'll see boom sections, customers, and save those discount codes, and you'll be able to go to the web store and buy neat stuff, and send it. You can give it back to your customer if you choose. You can give it to, and if you want to just go buy something because you think that's cool, then that's okay too. We're just trying to show you an appreciation for, using the website and buying parts. That's what, I've been working on that for years, and currently you can only use one discount code at a time. We're going to change it to where you can actually change more, use more discount codes at one time. So you stockpile 4 discount codes of $50, you'll have $200. You can get a Carhartt jacket, Manitex embroidery on it. Pretty cool. All righty, if I want to at this time, if I've got these parts in my cart, I'm going to change this back to 1. If I decide I want to save this so I don't have to go retype it, let's imagine I've got a line that's 50 lines. I can go down here to the bottom and say test 0504200022. I'm going to save my cart as a draft. So now I've saved it as a draft inside of my selected items. So I'm going to now go remove all these items from our cart. And now I want to go down here. Let's imagine, all right, this was one we did in 2019. That was a test that I put in there, 3 years ago, and it still saves it. My draft from today, it puts it all back in there. Will it save it for a cart that the price changed? No, it won't. The prices are daily, and we rarely change our prices. Unfortunately, we did have a price increase last Friday afternoon, and our material costs are going up, as you well know, and it's either you take a lower margin or you have to be forced to live in the world we do, and unfortunately raise our prices also. So putting the cart back in there will not keep the same prices. So you may need to go check them again. And that's pretty simple. So unless you got a line of 50 items and you can compare the totals, you can say, oh yeah, that's same exact price, no big deal. Now you can place the order. Let's go now to a search. You can change it. Let's imagine that we have the customer's called in. He's already got the print. He's good. He's ready to roll. He can put in the part number, or you push submit. As you already know, probably, we click a button called add. We place it in cart, and it tells us up here that we've added it. We already checked the quantity, the list price, no big deal. Let's imagine that we have an Excel spreadsheet with 50 lines on it. You can copy that column and paste it into the advanced search, or you can type them in individually. Let's see, 3580185 452.003. And then I can push submit. Excuse me. And it'll show them all at one time. So you can do it either way, either one item at a time or up to 50 lines at one time. The description button, you can also decide if I want to change this to a description, put in cylinder. And I only want to look at cylinders that were on a 3802. I'll hit submit. These are the items that have the word cylinder in it that are for a 3802. Same warning as the browser tab. It's not automatically for your crane. It is a cylinder that is used at some time on some bill of material for a 3802. 38 ton, 100 foot boom, 124 foot boom, 77 foot boom. So all of that to tell you that use this with a little bit of precaution, because it's not specific for your crane. It's just, excuse me, you got a drink of coffee here. All righty. But now your value is different now. So now we go back and we've reviewed how to add items if your customer gives you the part numbers, how to kind of search through our bill of material page, and how to kind of search through the keyword. Now we can go back to our cart. We're almost ready to place the order. We've checked it. We've checked our quantity. We've checked our pricing. We're good. Customer's ready to place the order. This is where you stop showing them the screen. If you're one of these dealers that has the ability to swing around a display and show them, or the customer walks around the counter and when you click that place button, he's going to see what you pay for it. So after I place order, the order cannot go through, will not go through without a distributor PO. Anything without an asterisk, right beside that distributor PO, there's an asterisk. Won't let you place it without an asterisk. So what I tell everybody, instead of starting at the top, let's start at the bottom. Any comments that you got? You messed up my last order. Don't do it again. No, that's not really a comment. It's let's see. Great job. Wonderful service. All righty. Whatever comments you may have in there. Let's imagine we've got a truck job number. Your customer comes in and we're going to put this truck. There we go. So when it comes in, everybody knows what truck these parts go to. So that's a neat comments. Any comments that come in here are going to go on the sales order. Also the sales order picking list, sales order packing list, and most importantly on your invoice. If you're putting comments in here that and you're drop shipping it to your customer, don't put anything in there with comments that has to do with pricing. Hey, Jamie gave me a special price for $10 for this whole crane. If you do that, he's going to find out what you paid for it. So comments need to be for special instructions for your company, for your, if you, let's say that I want this rotation bearing put in a wooden box contained top sides, put that comments in there. Any comments that are on there will go on the order. Now the shipping carrier. If you want us to put it on your UPS account number, no problem. If you want it on ours, don't put anything. But if you want it on your UPS account number, you've got to put your account number and your carrier. Guaranteed and not guaranteed. I'll promise you 100%. The guy that's been in shipping has been there as long as I've been here, a long time. If it can go today, it will. If it can't go today and he's pressed for time, he's going to look at very specific orders, rush orders, standard orders, stock orders. If he sees one that you've actually got, you need it to be guaranteed shipment. You're placing extra freight on your extra cost on this freight. That's up to you and your customer. If it's something that's got to be there tomorrow, hey, UPS routinely comes back and tells us that Mother Nature, whatever reason, it didn't get there. And there's not a whole lot we can do even on guaranteed service. If it's Mother Nature, they still not going to credit it back. But if you got to have it, it is what it is. If you got to have it, just come up here, copy that section, put it down in the comments. So if you extra freight for guaranteed services, if you don't tell us, we're not going to put it as guaranteed. It's going to save you on freight. But if it's something that's got to be there tomorrow morning and, you know, customers want to pay that option, no problem. Ship via. Let's go over the FedEx. FedEx is not a standard everyday here company. They don't come by to see if we have anything available. UPS comes by 4 times a day. They come pick up, drop off. They come by even when we're not even here, and we've let something outside the door at 5 o'clock. They're still picking up after we've already gone. Shipping leaves at 4:30. They're standing at the time clock. FedEx is not. So if we order it today, let's imagine that we have FedEx second day, not available for same day. That means not available same day shipment. So yes, we'll order FedEx. Maybe it goes today, but probably it's going to leave tomorrow. And then you're going to get it on Monday instead of if you ordered it today. So just be cognizant that, but some locations, they need FedEx and they don't like UPS. You can't, for whatever reason. UPSs are here located at the bottom. These are all non-guaranteed services. So if you want it guaranteed and you say, all right, I got to have it early AM, non-guaranteed service. But if you put the comments at the bottom that you want it to be guaranteed services, that's going to override this NGS because we don't have next day early AM guaranteed service. You just got to put it at the bottom, and Brian's going to select that insurance character. He's going to select that insurance box on the UPS computer. No big deal. Alrighty, going up to the order category. There are 3 of them: standard, rush, and stock. Stock will not be available for this item because I haven't met the minimum threshold. Yes, I'm at $5,000, but I'm not at 10 line items. So even if I select it, it's going to give me an error at the top. Minimum order value is not, I haven't met the minimum requirement being of the 10 line items. I can select it to rush. it will change my discount structure over on the bottom right-hand side, this DISC SER discount. It is now at 20%, and I'm trying to highlight just that column, but discount, if I change it to a standard order, it's going to give my discount structure at 30% off of list. Pretty important. If you, can I ask for a early AM delivery, non-guaranteed service and a standard order? You can, just doesn't make much sense because we're going to ship it within 48 hours. So yes, it could ship by Friday and then be there on Monday. It's just, if you want it rushed tomorrow, it's, yes, it is 10%. It is giving up, you know, a lot of money, but sometimes the customer needs it. What we're doing is not penalizing you for selecting the rush. We're actually just saying, you know what, I'm pushing you to the top of the food chain. What I'm talking about, it, let's imagine it's 2 o'clock, 2:30. I need it out today. When Brian gets to 2:30, he's going to stop looking at all orders that are standard. And Brian is our shipping guy, if you didn't know. Brian Fleming, been here a long time. Anyways, at 2:30, he's going to stop looking at everything. He's going to look at only rush orders for the next 2 hours. And he's going to focus on them. He's going to try to get everything he can with everybody he's got back there, get them out today. Standard orders, they get kind of pushed to the side. 48 hours, maybe 72 worst case, but they try to ship within 2 days. But I promise you, like I go back to earlier, we don't hold anything back and make it just stay just because it needs to be, you know, I'm gonna make him, penalize him for standing. No, if at all possible, all orders ship the fastest we can. We know that the customer needs the part, he's ordered it. But we have to have a priority list, and rush orders get you to the top of the list. Shipments, if I decide I'm okay with having, let's say 5 freight bills, then ship partial. If you only want one, then you can select the ship complete only button. That's fine. But sometimes you may not ship 90% of it because you're waiting on one item, and that can, so you just got to make that personal decision on what your customer wants. Serial number. At some point, we hope to be able to tag this serial number back to and say, all righty, he has selected serial number. This is actually a PM crane. Select that serial number, or you can type in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever the serial number is. We hope to at some point be able to say, all right, this serial number, yes, all of these parts are tagged into that bill of material for that specific crane. Currently it's not, because what this is designed for is, what I thought of years ago was, once I get enough data in the system, you as a customer can go back and say, all right, for this serial number, what items have I ordered?
Ask you about that on that crane.
Carl's pretty loud.
Sorry.
So as I put in a serial number, I want to find out what I bought over the years for that crane. No big deal. It's kind of be neat, helpful. If you don't have a model, don't worry about it. It's not necessary, but if you have it, 38 124 S, or if it's a heavy lift, it would be SHL. Your phone number, 512-942-3011. That's my phone number. Email addresses, if you override them. Your addresses, now we're getting to where we want to ship it. Can we ship it to Africa? You bet. We'll ship it as your customers or wherever your customers are at.
Yep.
So they're not relative to a address that is next door to you. It's your customer. You type in your address, make sure there's an asterisk and everything. Now we'll go to the bottom one more time. We're going to look at it, scan it. After we're done, now we can go in there and put our PO number in there, because it's not going to let us do it until we have it done. So it's not going to let us place this accidentally. Now I can go down here and push place order. It's going to tell me that I have now placed an order online. I've also reached a $50 gift card. Here's my code. I'm going to copy my code. Reward gold points can be spent at the Manatech store. Just real quick, we're going to go in there and play around, and I'll show you some stuff. I'm going to continue. I'm going to start a new order. Anything that you decide that you may want, it's there. It's a lot of people buy the tumblers, the cups, or they'll buy whatnot. On the left-hand side, here's one of my favorites because I don't have one, but I'm kind of envious of those who have had the reward points. I just don't get reward points. I go to Carhartt, anything on the left-hand side. I can go down here and select it. This is a really neat jacket, guys. $92 for a Manatech embroidered jacket. I wish it would go bigger, but it doesn't. But I can add it to the cart, white logos, or I can do a blue logo or white Mac. So the same jacket, if you are specifically for a PM, a Mac, Manatech certificate, you can actually select that, and that's what's going to be embroidered. I'm going to add it to my cart. On the top left-hand corner, you'll see your profile. Hope you're seeing this. You can go to the items in your cart. I've got 3 things in there. You can take them out of the cart if you want to. I'm going to go ahead and push continue. Let me see if I can. Yes, good. Hope that's easier to see. You put in your name, your address, where you want it shipped to. You can ship it to your company. You can ship it to wherever you want to. You can pay for a little bit more to get it faster, whatnot. If you want to remove the items, let's say I'm going to remove 2 items because I didn't get enough points yet to be able to buy my jacket. And now I'm going to push billing information. Requires a state. So for some reason it didn't put a state in there. No big deal. Now I can go to billing information. Couldn't verify your shipping address, but we found something close. Already, I'm going to select this accepted. Apologize if this is wasting your time. I just want to let you see your credit card number. Here's your discount code that we copied earlier. I'm going to apply that code. Now you can see that my total price is 0. It's pretty cool. Place the order and you're good. It'll get to you. This is an outside website. It's not done by Manatech. It's nothing comes out of here. It's just purely, it's a website that's there to give you an option. So what we want to do is on this discount codes is have 4 or 5 or 10. I don't want to apply different discount codes. If you don't actually push the button, place order, it's not going. So let's say I get in there now, I'm going to change my mind. Hold on to it. Get out of close the website down and you'll have that discount code for a long time. But anyways, that's the kind of the web store, and you can browse through there, and it's kind of neat. It's on the bottom of each one of my signature blocks. So if you've ever got an email from me, even the one this morning, it's the manatechstore.com. But anyways, let's go back to the website now. Where did I go? All right, I'm about to keep going back. All righty, so now we're back into our website where we're at. At 4:45 when I run invoices, you're going to automatically get your invoice. automatically. It's your order goes into our order system automatically. Your invoices go back automatically. Once you get an invoice tomorrow morning, you can go into the web and you can click on the button called orders. Let's imagine I've got all orders. I've got one right now in my waitings order. This is the one that we just did because it's not in our system yet. Right. I've got nothing in my open orders, and I've got one in my closed. Just because tomorrow morning you're going to have an order. You got an invoice today. Tomorrow morning when you come in, you say, oh, I need a tracking number. There are going to be several buttons on the right hand side. You can go and look at the order by clicking on it. You can go to the shipments, the SH. Why is it not going? My computer's frozen. Okay. You can go to the shipments tab. If it had a shipment against it, this one didn't because I'm not really a user on the website. Down at the bottom, it will actually have, let me look real quick on something, TRACKING. For, if you've ever asked me for a tracking number, then I've probably given you a screenshot of where to find it. All righty. Alrighty, here's what it will look like. This is a customer that asked me for a tracking number. So I said, all right, here's where they're used at. Here's where they're stored underneath your sales orders. You can go to and click on the shipments. It will tell us down here on the very bottom of the page, it'll have you an invoice number, invoice date, total invoiced amount, the carrier that was used, your tracking number, freight. This evidently went on the customer's account. That's why we didn't charge him freight. And as we go up, there are invoice details, the 3 items that shipped, the quantity that shipped, and the invoice that they were invoiced on. So it's really neat that you can go back to a sales order and you can, and that information stays there forever. It never gets purged. So you can go look at an order that was 2 years ago. I don't remember the guy got a tracking number. Well, there's the tracking number. Well, it's not good on the UPS. Well, UPS tracking number is only good for, I think, maybe like 60, 90 days. After that, you got to give them a call. But anyways, it's kind of neat to be able to see the invoice at 4:45. Next morning you come in, you actually got the invoice number, you got a tracking number. You cannot print an actual invoice from the website. And we do that for several reasons. One is we don't want the wrong invoice being sent and downloaded and sent to somebody else. And most importantly, if there's ever a change to an order, the invoice on the website could be wrong. Lots of times customers will call and say, hey, remove this item, add this item. Well, or change the price because, you gave me a special price on a cylinder to relieve inventory or something, whatever. But anyways, the website doesn't have a way to actually download a invoice. It's just informational, and it's really good information for your tracking number. Let's go to the very top, and that'll finish us up for today. The pre-2000 manuals. These are a selection of manuals that we have for products that we have bought over the years. If you're new to Manitex, Manitex is a global company, Manitex International, and we own the product lines for many different companies that have been in business over the years. USTC, United States Trucking Company. They also bought, before we bought them, they bought JLG, but they only bought the JLG boom truck line. So we also have USTC, which is the forklift. They call it a tailgater. We have articulating cranes, which are the brick trucks, the PCs, the 11035s, 11026s. For Manitex, we have the millennial version and our current version. We have Pioneer, which is Ottawa, Kansas. Phoenix Corporation, which was Skyhook, Sponco, and Sky Hoist. We also own PM, which is the Italian cranes that many of you are familiar with. Taxi King. Now, some other companies that are part of us but aren't supported here is like the Badger product line. We also had Sabre. We had Load King, Lift King. So we've got a lot of product lines that we cover. And some of these books on this pre-2005 manuals is you're able to open up that book and download it. So you can open up the 2200 BT. We're going to open up this parts book. It's a 114 page parts book that you can go through and look as if you were looking in any other parts book. So it's really neat that you can go back and look at a book that's before computers were really a thing. So that's the reason why they're there. They're pre-2005 manuals, because they were formatted in a different style Adobe product that aren't able to be electronically viewed. So that's the reason why they're there. So now we went over the browser tab, kind of warned about the use of the browser tab and how it can be helpful, but it also can lead you down the wrong, not knowing the selection options. The serial number bill of material page, neat. How do we get more proficient at it? Time in the saddle. As you asked me for them, I'm going to send them you screenshots. You're going to see where it's at and you go, oh, now I know. The keyword is kind of neat. The search, we've reviewed that individual parts or by description, by series, or if you have the list of parts, put them in. If you want to upload a order, you can actually click on the word upload the order. It's going to come to you and it's going to ask you if it's what kind of format it's in. So I can actually click choose file. I can go to an Excel spreadsheet if I had one, but I don't have one today. But you can open it in Excel and you can upload the order automatically. So let's say it's a very large order and you don't have it saved as a draft. It's just something the customer sent you. Now you can go look at it. You can upload it. Alrighty, now we've reviewed the cart portion of this web and how you can save it as a draft, how you can load a draft. Pretty simple. And it's there. How do I remove them from a draft? You can't. Once they're there, they're there. So I only save the ones to a draft for something that you know is going to be difficult to load again. Going to orders, you've got your orders that are waiting because it hasn't went into the system yet. Takes about 15 minutes. Your open orders are something that hasn't shipped yet. Your closed orders, orders that have shipped as a complete order. So if it's in your open orders and it's shipped partial, it's still going to be in open orders. Closed orders is for all closed orders. If I have a specific purchase order, I can type in the purchase order and I can go find it. It doesn't work for me because I only have 2 orders and neither one of them. But for you, if you have hundreds of orders, you can search through it very easy, or search by part number 3580131. Well, I don't have any of those that I've actually bought. Quotes. We don't normally use the quotes tab because it can get lost in the quotes are only good for when I send them. But email me a quote price. I'll load it in the system fast and quick. No big deal. Pre-2005 manuals, as you just went over, pretty easy. So hope it wasn't too fast today. you guys got any questions that you may need me to go over on this?
I'll do it.
No?
Jamie, just one thing real quick, from me. Just a curiosity, where your serial numbers on your machines, are those generally located in a specific spot? Or is it just kind of random? Because I've got a customer that I've dealt with in Birmingham, and we've had a hard time locating his serial number. He bought it at an auction. He
Okay,
bought the machine at an auction, and we can't find the serial number in order to get him some parts to replace. I just didn't know if there's a general place where that's normally at.
sure. Normally on a conventional mounted crane, it's going to be in both sides of the platform, left and right. S-mounted crane, which is this one is a rear mounted crane, as you see in the picture. It actually shows a picture of a TC. It's on the opposite side of the platform. So you've got your cab. Now let's go to the other side of the turret. And if you have an oil cooler, it's going to be behind it, but that's where we still put it. Now, what we can do for him is that I can go to a ship log, and this is what I have here. If you have a VIN, a truck VIN, I just need the last 6 digits of the truck VIN.
Okay.
Let's say, let me pull it up real quick. I'm just trying to think of one. Let's see what this truck 146, 128. All right, so if I want to go to the serial number, type in my VIN, I'm going to type in 424549, push search. It's going to tell me based off of the last 4 digits that this crane specifically here has this very long serial VIN. So it's kind of neat. So yes, I can find it if you have a
Okay.
truck VIN, as long as it's not remounted. Once it gets remounted, then it's kind of like stuck. But yeah, good question.
Okay, I'll reach out to him and try to get the number to see if that'll help, because the numbers he's provided me that are that came off the turret and everything like that, I wasn't able to find on there, and it's a 2892S, and there's just so many pages that I was trying to search through to try to get that. So I'll just try to get the VIN number from him and see if that'll help.
Yeah, if it was ever registered, built here, or any warranty claims, then I can find it. But if it was, i.e. a knockdown, like we talked about earlier, knockdowns, those are off the table because we don't know what you put them on.
Right. Okay, I'll reach out to him and see if I can find that out. Thank you.
Very cool. If anybody got anything else, it's not a problem. Just drop me an email and I'll try my best to make it as clear as I can. I do appreciate everybody coming today and spending time. I apologize for being long-winded, but that's kind of what I do. I am long-winded. At least that's what my wife says anyways.
Thank you, Jamie.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
All righty. Talk to y'all soon.
All right, bye.
Bye.